Is that satisfying to you? Let me show you how you do it. Take a card, put it down, curve the side like this with your middle finger, let it go. Be careful not to bend too much because you might damage your card. What is going on, guys? Rogue TCG here bringing you another deck profile. This one's more like a deck idea. This is a commenter commented about on my Musket video about adding amazements, and I thought that was actually a very smart idea given the effect of some of the amazement cards and how they positively synergize with Magical Musket. So I decided to try it out. I took the amazement cards. I took out most of the competitive staples of Musket, like tactics, Ash, etc., and cut down on the engine as much as I possibly could in order to build this deck. So if you are still watching, this one's for you, dude. All right, so this is the deck profile. I might make this a future series where I just continue to take ideas from the comments. And so, yeah, this might be a continuous series. Still working on a name for it and everything. But if you guys have any deck ideas, like 2 decks you want to see together, please leave them in the comments. And I might make a video on it if I think that it has potential, like this list right here. This is Amazement Musketeer. Synergy is with Amazement Administrator Arlecchino. Once per turn, you can banish any number of attraction traps from your grave, then target them any cards your opponent controls and destroy them. This solves the issue with muskets of not being able to deal with all your opponent's big monsters. And then you can target, you can only use it once per turn, and once per turn if a trap is activated, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can turn one of those face-up monsters they control and equip an attraction trap from your deck to that target. Unfortunately, that ladder effect does not trigger your muskets because that's not activating, it's just attaching it straight up, so it's skipping a step. But the effect where if a trap is activated, you get to bring this guy out of your hand, means that any of your musket traps that you are going to be activating from your hand are still going to trigger this guy, bring him out, just giving you another level of interaction with your opponent in a new axis, sort of. And the muskets are very good at that trap interaction criteria because of Magical Musket Desperado and Last Stand being some of the better muskets spell traps. Yeah, and then we do have Horror House, of course, and Cyclone Coaster, but that's enough yapping. Let's get on to the overall deck list. So we're on 2 Arlecchino. We do want to have multiple in case they permanently get rid of one, like let's say, for example, banishing it. We want to have a second one in rotation. Maybe we open Arlecchino plus time ticket, and we have a musket, so we want to still use that time ticket. So yeah, so we're running double Arlecchino, 1 Calamity still, triple Starfire, double Kid Brave, double Kid Brave, double Doc, and triple Caspar. This is the typical lineup of muskets. We still don't really want to cut down on the monster count too much. So we are running with as many as we feasibly can because we still want to trigger our muskets as fast as possible and as frequently as possible. We're still running triple Link into the Vrains, which can get us into Musketeer Max, which and also prevents the Max effect from being responded to, and also is Recursion in the Grave. So this card does do a lot. Triple Pot of Prosperity in order to search for either our muskets or our amazements. Triple Amazing Time Ticket. This is a spell we can activate on our first turn to pay 800 life points. Add an amazement card from your deck to your hand. Almost always going to be Arlecchino. However, you can also add none of the other ones because these are Amaze. So it's just Arlecchino. This just grabs Arlecchino. But it does have a secondary effect where you can set a trap straight from your deck on your opponent's turn, so you can still activate this to grab one of the Amaze traps. It's just during your opponent's turn, but the Caspar, the Doc, the Kid Brave, and the Starfire are all going to appreciate that spell activation. We are running double Cross Domination. Unfortunately, I couldn't necessarily find reasons to play more Cross Domination. We kind of want to be playing more traps than spells in this build due to the Arlecchino, and we want to synergize as much as possible. As well as we already have effect negation via the amazement cards functionally, so we don't need to go as deep onto this sort of interaction as we need to. Triple Infinite Impermanence, Imperm plus Arlecchino on your opponent's turn if they're going first is very good, just like Multifaker. Triple Magical Musket Desperado, this one pops a face-up card on field. Amazement Family Faces, target a monster your opponent controls equipped with your attraction traps, equip this card to it. While this card's equipped to the monster, take control of the equipped monster, it gains 500 attack, and you can't activate its effects. So this just takes their monster like a crackdown, but they can attack, and they do get larger numbers. So this is a fairly good card. We can always grab this with Arlecchino if we already have an Amazement in hand. It's just a generally good card. We're not playing the evil Arlecchino just because that more synergizes with all the other Amazement cards. So we're literally just playing Arlecchino. We are playing one Thrill Train. This one is a Farfa, which is useful. We are playing one Dancing Needle to get cards out of the graveyard of our opponents. One Cyclone Coaster. You can target a spell or trap they control, send both it and this card to the grave, and if you are equipping it to an opponent's monster, you can add an Amazement monster from your deck to your hand, beating Arlecchino, and then on resolution, you can use the Arlecchino effect in hand. So this card is functionally a one-card Arlecchino on board. We are running Triple Horror House. You can target if you're targeting one of your monsters, you can target a monster your opponent controls and negate its effects until end of turn. So this one's functionally an imperm. And then if you're targeting an opponent's monster, you can Book a Moon it. This one has the most utility, and we are playing 3 of it, so we can see it as frequently as possible. And lastly, in the deck, we are running Triple Last Stand. This one's a spell trap negate on a counter trap, which is the most beneficial type of spell card, card type to be attached to this. That's it for the main deck. Now on to the extra. The extra deck is pretty much going to be whatever you want, to be honest. The only mandatory cards are like Triple Max, maybe like an SP Little Knight. But even that, if you're running budget, you can definitely do without this card. Max into SP is very, very powerful. However, it isn't necessarily the end-all, be-all of the deck. So we're running Triple Max, 1 IP, 1 Muckracker, Phoenix, SP Little Knight, Double Unicorn, Access Code, Underworld Goddess, Dweller, Redoer, Big Eye, because Arlecchino is 7 and there's no restrictions on having any amount of them on board, and a Typhon Sky Crisis. That's going to be it for the main, and then here's an additional supplemental engine that you might be able to put into it. You do have the Super Polys as well as the Fusion Monsters from Extra. This does trigger your Muskets. You can turn your Muskets into a Mud Dragon, for example, using one of their light monsters in order to make your Muskets functionally untargetable. And it does triggers your Muskets. You have a lot of extra deck space, clearly with Double Unicorn and Phoenix in here. You definitely have space for Super Poly targets if you wish. But that's functionally going to be it for the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching it all the way to the end. Please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what deck that you want me to cover next. I appreciate all the feedback. I try and respond to as many comments as I can, and I will be seeing y'all next time. Bye.